Good morning, boys and girls. We are live now. Let me just get everything sorted. I just had to get the stream all set up. We're back home now for a little while, back off the road. And thank you for being patient. I am a grand total of 10 minutes late. I think it's the latest I've been so far. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, my bad. All right. So here's the profile for today. It's pretty shared, man. We moved right away from those value levels. Beautiful, nice meltdown from the overnight value area low. We had a breakdown and a retest, and if you caught that, you caught the tippity top, basically, of this meltdown, which has been really nice. So we pull the profile back to that point here in price today. That was your best setup from the profiles today. So far, we've pushed way, way down. I've got a little trade idea here, which I'll talk about in a second, but for now, here was the setup from the morning, which I thought, wow, that was really good. So we broke down below the previous day and overnight value area low. Boom, pulled down below it. Price pulled back to retest, and then right on the stacked previous day value area low, overnight value area low as well, and then also the current session point of control. You have your nice entry point there for a beautiful, beautiful meltdown, almost catching that with little to no drawdown for a big meltdown. So, you know, if you're holding a runner on a move like that, on a setup like that, you are a very, very happy boy / girl. So that's probably the best setup from today's New York session. As for today, obviously, right now, as in the afternoon session, we are way, way down. So below the previous week's value levels. I'm sort of looking at this area here for a quick bounce, and here we are, a little rejection back to the downside. So I'm looking at this type of thing here, right, where we have the previous week's value levels both stacked together in a fairly close zone. And then we also have the value area low of the developing session. So using the most recent volume to confirm a entry point is the idea, right? So there's across here, we don't really have anything on the current profile to say this is a good entry point. We have the weekly value levels, yes, but we want a little more context. So a potential area that I'm looking at for a little scalp here will be off the value area low of the developing session, but not just because it's a value area low, mainly because it's the beginning of that shelf right here. It's not a distinctive high volume node, but there's a distinctive drop off in volume here, and then a beginning in volume again right on the edge of that value area low. So a nice little area there for a potential pullback or push to the downside. Again, I'd be looking for only 5 points, so a smaller trade. I think I can get away with 5 points today versus 8 points, which has been my New York AM session parameter, is going for the 8-pointer because it needed a bit more space to breathe. But here in the PM session, it's not so bad. So I might look at that. That's my first trade idea for today. If that happens to fail, if I take that trade and it stops out, what I'll be looking at is a pullback, a retest from the other side of some sort. So watching this now, boys and girls, don't distract me. I am very, very busy trying to get a trade entry here. It just had a little spike up now. Little spike, didn't quite tap where I'm looking though. 2.3, I'm looking around 2.3, 7.23. So let's see if we can get, we being me, a decent trade setup here. And welcome back to the stream. Apologies about yesterday. I set the stream for the wrong day. It was meant to be today. I just had a little kerfuffle with my time zones. My days and time zones. Things get a bit tricky when time zones and daylight savings and you know what I mean. Yeah, this thing had a little spike up to where I was looking to get into my trade here while I was busy yapping. Then not quite hit where I want to go, but pretty close. By the way, check out my coffee cup, huh? Huh? We like? Yeah. Anyways, if it doesn't tap the area I wanted to get my entry, man, it came so close. That would have been a real quick win right there if I had filled a couple ticks in front. But Yeah, I won't chase it down, unfortunately, but man, nice little reaction there already. Already. Ah, value area low is working as resistance due to increased volatility. Would you rank that as as a B rank trade? Yeah, Cal, if we're talking about that one I highlighted earlier up the top, yes, I'd put that as actually a one, two, three, three confluence A rank trade. This one down here, however, where we are now, it's I wouldn't put this one as an A rank just because the zones are so far apart. Um, POC, previously POC, VAH, and the edge of this value area are they're in a zone, right? So they're not closely stacked. So I don't know about A rank for this next trade. I'd probably put this as a B with the previous week's value high and value area low / HVN of the current session here as my confluences. The previous week's POC is a bit further away. So give it a good B. Unrealistic peer right there. Mason. Yes, I saw you guys had a fantastic chat in the chat yesterday. So not completely wasted yesterday's stream. Okay, coming back a little bit here. 723 is around about where I'm looking for a little push back down. Let's have a look if it can come back up to this area. And going with a simple 3 contracts for this particular setup. And of course, targeting 5 points. And if I can get a runner, so be it. If not, then it'll be 2 contracts taking the 5 points. Right, watching this very intently. Very, very intently. Yeah, very. It's been a nice little resistance area so far for a few pullbacks. Just for a few pullbacks. Okay. It's pushing a little bit. A lot of interest around these areas, which is what you want to see. Kind of confirming these. This has to extend, right? Kind of confirming these levels, these weekly levels. Areas of interest, a lot of volume transacting across here right now. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. I do miss trading the power hour. Man, trading the New York morning sessions was really, really fun. A lot of good opportunities and quick opportunities. Something about the afternoon session that I love, though. Just like the pacing. It's not as fast as the morning, but not as slow as a London or Asian session. It's just a nice session to trade. I like it. And, you can catch, if you catch the right side of the afternoon move, you can catch some monsters right before end of day. Absolute monsters. Do I recommend trading right off the overnight previous day value levels right at the NY Open or wait for volume to build for a bit before looking to trade? Jonathan, not that I recommend it, but there are very valid setups based off that New York Open. If you watch my streams during the New York morning sessions last week, that's basically what I was doing, was trading those overnight levels immediately and going in with little other confluences. And the reason being is those overnight value levels are very, very potent. They can give you some really good setups, 8 out of 10 times. Really, really nice setups. I'm not recommending anything, but I will say they provide some very decent setups. Often better when paired with other confluences, but it's amazing how many times you get a really nice reaction off the overnight value levels with nothing else No other confluence. Most gurus say to stay away from the afternoon. I don't know what's the deal with that. Gurus say stay away from Asian session, overnight session, stay away from the afternoon, stay away from the lunch. Most gurus say stay away from trading altogether, right? It's like everything is a no trade conditions is whack. My experience, last almost 8 years now. Next year will be 8 years. In my oh man, didn't quite get that entry, boys and girls. Close, close, close. In my experience, in the last almost 8 years, you can adapt your approach to work on almost any session. They have different characteristics, but lunchtime is no different to the rest of the day. The afternoon session obviously has slightly different characteristics than the morning, a little slower. Sometimes you got to take into account the trend move because bigger players or whatever wrapping up their position, if they've been only short all day, might start to roll those up at the end of the day and so on and so forth. So there's a few things to think about that are different, but it's never something that's like, man, don't trade the afternoon, because it's a beautiful session. Beautiful, beautiful session. By the way, we'll do a giveaway today. So get the likes up to 200 and we'll get some giveaways going once again. But in the meantime, let's watch this thing. Yeah, that melted away pretty good. That's a good. It's a shame, man. A couple ticks away from where I wanted to enter. It's fine. No chase. Yes, Micronesian, what's up? What's up? Oh, with no fear, my take on the Project X AWS. I mean, I think the AWS thing was out of everyone's control, right? But it's very suspicious how a certain prop firm handled that. Not a fan of it, and like I said, they've been falling off, man. That the firm, which we all know, Top Step, has been falling off, and yeah, it's just why, man. There's so many questionable things about that prop to me now. It's just many dominoes that have been falling with that place. Yes, I love the PM Power Hour. Yes, me too, Elise. Yeah, the Power Hour is such a great session. Great session. Agreed. I'm back in New Zealand now, so it's 7:52 in the morning for me, so I've not caught any of the morning session, unfortunately. But yes, happy to be back here trading the PM. Absolutely. Why don't I scale in on something like that? Prop rules not allowing. Jolly, I do actually scale in sometimes when the levels are a bit closer together, stacked. With a range that's as big as this, it's not something I'm too keen to scale into, even if it's a good, decent setup. I'd rather scale into a position when the confluences are more stacked. So basically, what we've got in this area here is the confluences I'm looking at the short are across this whole range from, how many points is that? From, it's an 8-point range where my confluences are. So in a tighter range, yes, I would absolutely scale into something like that. But man, that's a bit loose, a bit wide for me. So I'd rather catch my entry basically exactly where I want it versus adding it and scaling. Although I will say, in hindsight, I wish I did add at least one as it came up to the point I was looking to enter. Here is a couple ticks away from that entry. So I wish I added at least one there. That wouldn't have been so bad. I was busy yapping and it whipsawed. Nice, Larry. Same levels as me using VP. Fantastic. Justin, what's up, Justin? Purchased your course last week. Cheers. Now I can put into sequence all the dynamics. Waiting on Discord. Yeah, man. Justin, awesome. Glad to hear. First of all, good luck with the course. Second of all, there's no Discord, but there's a school. So at the end of the course, there's an invite through to the school, which is the equivalent of our Discord. It's not a live chat room, but it's more of a forum type setup, which I prefer. Easier to manage and easier to share value on. Discord, trading Discords get so messy. I've had a couple in the past. They get messy, and then when you are trying to answer questions or add value somewhere, because it's a live Discord and things are moving all the time, the value answers and whatnot all gets lost in the source. So I like the school setup, that forum type setup, so that answers can be held and organized and easily reviewed later. Because you can get some really good questions that, when you give an answer, are super valuable, or even answers from others in the community sharing their experiences and whatnot. It's better to organize in a forum type environment like school versus a live chat where it just gets lost. Louis Silva, let's get this money. Yes, school, SKOOL. Yes, thank you through Chaser for clarifying. Yes. Yes, school. It's cool. All right. Little pump back up to where I was looking to short that first time. Let's see. Market loves these levels. Little back and forth ping pong across these levels. Nice to see. Cool for school, yes. Yeah, Trey Sargent, end of the course. It's the very last lesson on the course. You get the school invite, the school link. All right. All right. Do I use LVNs and HVNs or just Val VA HPSC? Larry, I use the value areas. I also use high volume nodes. I don't use low volume nodes, but high volume nodes, value areas of current session, previous day, and previous week. Previous day being the 9:30 to 4 p.m., the RTH. Okay, we're getting a bit of a push back to that same area now. Same sort of area. You scale into this, see if we get that reaction again. My first entry here is at 623. 62300. Looking to not get one tick tickled up here. I am the one tick tickle meister, so I don't want that to happen again. Pushing up. You can do it. Okay, going to slightly scale into this. Slightly scale in. Just in case. And I'll go for this. There we are. I got my two cons. Want to get 3. See if it digs up a little higher here. And come on, give me a little bit higher for that last contract. Little bit higher. Let's go. There we are. Full position on 3 contracts. Not a bad average entry. Cool. And now set my stop. 728.25. 3 cons. Trace contracts. 728.25. There we are. And I want to take 2 off at 1-to-1. 717. 717. Boom, down there. Little something like that to start the day. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. So entry here is off the retest of a value area low / high volume edge, using the previous week's levels as confluence as a little pullback, pushback down here. Little leg down. Taking 2 off at my take profit target, which is 1-to-1, and leaving 1 runner. 1 runner if it can get a nice push down for the end of the session here. We have 1 hour, exactly 1 hour to go for the end of the session. Let's go, let's go. So, yep, confluence being context plus high volume node edge. Not a node, but an edge of volume. You can see that nice distinctive edge right across here where they green boxes, and then using those previous week's value levels. Because they're weekly levels, you need to add more context to them because they're, in quotes, higher time frame levels. So you want to add some surrounding context to it. So I don't want to be shorting right off the weekly levels on the retest, but using context of the current profile, retesting value low, plus the edge of volume for a short play here. And just taking 2 off at 1-to-1 and seeing if we can get some sort of continuation back down is the idea here. Little small rejection there, back down to weekly value high. There we are. Oh, yes. There we go, boys and girls. Oh, yes. Okay, moving stop to break even. Nice flush down. Stop to break even on that last contract. See if it keeps pushing. Holy shit. Good flush. W Cami in the chat. See if it keeps flushing down. And I just want to hold that contract for a nice big flusheroo to the downside if I can. But stops at break even on the last contracts. Profit taken on the first 2 cons. Beautiful, boys and girls. Like the stream for that first banger back for the week. Holy shit. And off we go. Let's catch a runner here. I want more. I want more and more and more. I'm a greedy boy. Moving the stop into profit if it can flush out the previous week's levels. It's going to cover fees and commish here. There we are. And then let it go. Come on. Give us more flush here. Yes, please. Yes, please. W Cami, W Titty Cup, W Trade. W Kombucha because we're healthy now. All right, come on. Come on, come on. Got very volatile, very quick down there. Fantastic, fantastic. If this runner gets stopped out, that's that trade done for the day. Beautiful, beautiful play. 200 likes, we get giveaways going. Remember, 200 likes. We're halfway there. All right, cool. Nice. That was still decent, man. That was a nice quick trade. Good stuff, good stuff. Runner's been stopped out there, but hey, man, I cannot complain. Holy shit. Holy shit. So anyway, confluence on that. I'll run through it again. Pretty simple trade. Previous week value areas both stacked across here, but because they are fairly wide apart, right? Fairly wide apart, you don't want to just be shorting, because both of these are confluence. You don't want to just be shorting the level on its own. So needing to add extra confluence to that trade the time of the trade here, the value area low and the edge of volume was right across the top of those two levels. So we had that extra confluence, pull it across, had something to give those two weekly value levels context, which is retesting the bottom of value for the session at the time of the trade. And also, if you look on the profile here, it's where volume ended. We had the end of this kind of cluster of volume, and then new volume, or old volume, I should say, began. So right on the edge of that area of value was the value area low plus the edge of a volume cluster. Short there, just targeting 1-to-1, and then holding a runner to see if it can keep going, and boom. Nice quick drop, couple minutes trade, and yeah, the runner got stopped out, unfortunately. It came right back, but secured decent profit on the first two contracts there. So very happy days, very, very happy days. Anyways, on to the next one. On to the next one. 200 likes and we'll get giveaways going. I'm going to give away, I still don't have any Take Profit Trader accounts to give away, but I will be giving away a course, free course, and I do have some more Apex accounts to give away. So course and Apex accounts, giveaways, 200 likes. You're at 135. I'm not happy with that. 200 likes, that was a good quick trade. Good trade to start the week for me. So like it up, 200. Oh, Nemo, DM me, my friend, DM me. How do you set your weekly value areas? Micronesian, is it on the weekly chart? 1 minute. It is on the 1 minute Micronesian, 1 minute chart for the weekly value areas, and drawn from the 6 p.m. open of the previous week all the way through to the very last candle on Friday, so 4:59 p.m. Alicia, hi, YouTube Shorts. Yes, hello. Correct. This will be a YouTube short for sure. You guys know it. Clip it. Watching real time before and after the course makes a difference. Yes. Absolutely, Lee. This will be added to the playbook inside the course. Absolutely. It wasn't an A-ranked trade, but it's certainly something that I would, something that you should be aware of. When there's levels that are not closely stacked, and especially when they're weekly levels, you want to add some sort of extra confluence in there. Of course, the first tap being the best reaction always. That was the first official tap. Nice quick flush from that. After that, it's now found support and pushing back up. But the point is we capture the trade, capture that little piece, and whatever happens next is no Juarez. Siddharth, absolutely. Will I be streaming in Asia again? Yes, Kimmy, absolutely. I'm in the middle of moving house at the moment, so schedules are a bit funky, but yeah, once we get back to the usual schedule, I'm gonna try get in a couple streams a day. Sometimes we'll do Asia, just like the old school Cami Capital days. We'll be going for 1 to 2 streams per day, Monday to Thursday. Say order filled in a zesty voice. We save it for the shorts. Cam looking for a runner on stream? Yes. On the stream likes? Yes. Clay, never spoken, but I've digested every single one of your videos, as well as some videos of other creators as Jigsaw finally got funded and a payout. Thank you, Clay. Awesome, man. And congrats on the payout and the funding. It's a game changer, right? The order flow, volume, this stuff's a game changer. I mean, the amount of times I've heard that exact same story, Clay, people saying finally got funded after years of things not really working, or finally getting a payout. First payouts just from implementing volume order flow is very, very telling. That's why I tell people, I'm always preaching to it. If you're struggling with trading, of course, I've got my own stake in this game. Of course, I have a benefit to saying this, but I legitimately mean it when I tell people, if you're struggling with trading and you want to start pushing an edge and you want to start making things work, I'm 110% of the belief that implementing volume and order flow is the secret, or is the best thing for a retail trader to do to make retail day trading a reality. Make Make it something you can do for a living. And by a living, I don't mean you have to quit your job, but something where you earn a full-time income, whether that's alongside your job or if you do feel like quitting your job and going all in, that can be an option at some point. For me, on that thing about full-time trading, I never wanted trading to be my only gig because I felt the pressure of that would screw me up, right? Having everything riding on trading to pay the bills, I always felt like that would screw me up. So I always wanted to have multiple income sources, but I did always have the goal of having trading, earning a full-time income for me, which meant 6 figures plus NZ dollars. And yeah, I made that a reality in the last 2 years. And of course, I earn money from my business and this YouTube channel as well, which is a great help. But yeah, full-time trading doesn't mean quit your job. It just means full-time trading. Can you earn enough to cover all your bills and your expenses every month plus some more? Then hey, you are a full-time trader. Even if you have a job, 9 to 5 along the side, or a business like me, man, it's a great skill to have. Great skill to have. Yeah, it's an extra fee, Pop. The school is an extra fee, exclusive to course members. That will be changing soon. Soon it's going to be all wrapped into one, but the monthly subscription will be more expensive. So most cost effective is to lock in the course as a one-time access now at 149, 147. Because soon it's going to be 147 a month. Crazy game changer. Started with ICT, felt like guessing a bit. Order flow says volume made it more clear. Yes, it does. It really does. I mean, once you move away from classic candlestick patterns and whatnot and add in some real logic and volume behind things, that guessing feeling does go away. Of course, we're always guessing in some sense because we don't know what's going to happen next, but at least we can make decisions based on real logic and things that we know are actually there versus things we're guessing based on a candlestick. And that's a huge game changer for confidence. Huge game changer. Picks and profit. Yeah, still using the DOM. You guys let me know. Then I'm going to do a poll right now, right? I'm going to do a poll right now because I removed the DOM from the chart. I'm executing off the DOM as you guys saw. But do you prefer my screen with or without DOM? With or without. I removed it because I figured my DOM's not that useful for you to watch because you're seeing the execution on TradingView because it's signed in. But sometimes people like to see it. So I'm going to put that poll up there. You guys let me know. I removed it just yesterday. So I thought it might look a bit cleaner on stream, but you let me know. You let me know. Where is the order flow in your trading strategy? Vol Pro part, I got it, but not the order flow. Nordic, it's not so much. Order flow itself is the way of interpreting the market. So I'm not necessarily reading the. I do. I have the time and sales open. It's not part of my strategy, but it is something I look at. But it's more the concept of order flow and volume profile being an extension of order flow as well, because volume profile is about orders transacted in the market. So speaking less on order flow specific strategies, but learning order flow and how the market really moves. Order flow 101, I like to call it, is a great help for newbies understanding how the market moves. Because this ICT SMC thing, that's 90% of how retail traders trade now, at least off of YouTube, is people have no idea how the market really moves, and they end up making things up and talking about algos needing to fill this and pulling up to this high to fill opposing orders. That is not how the market moves. So the main thing is learning order flow to understand how the market really moves and what's causing the market to go up and down. And then using volume profile as an extension of order flow, because it is somewhat an order flow tool, to make trading decisions. Siddharth, no, Siddharth, it is different to the tick jump course. So no, man, but you can absolutely join the skill. 20 more likes for the giveaway. Yes, 20 more likes for the giveaway. 20 more to go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Siddharth. Can you please show the background color? Luna Trades. Good morning, Luna. Background color is pretty simple, man. It's just black and white. Black and white. Nothing crazy. Black, white. Or I should say gray, low transparency. Yeah. In terms of setups across here now, let's continue to extend this profile. We explained the trade here. That's one and done. In terms of setups here, as we move away from these value levels, it can get pretty tricky to trade into these because notice how there is just so many clusters of volume moving across this profile. All you really have across here is price moves is just watching how price reacts and behaves in reaction to the high volume nodes. So there's nothing really there as it moves up towards current session POC. The only potential play I see here next, it would be, see we have this shelf of volume right across those previous week value levels. So what I could see here for the next potential trade setup is price pulling back down, tapping that edge of that shelf with the 2 weekly levels there and using that zone as an entry point for support. That's all I see. As it moves to the upside here, there's nothing clean. There are some C rank, as we call them, setups, so single confluences, but nothing other than that. It's when you have a lot of high volume nodes clustered together like this and no value levels, that is like slot machine trading up there. So you want to make sure you're getting some nice confluences lined up to take some very, very logical trade. So then the only one I see here, like I said, is pulling back, finding support across this shelf, and entering on the previous week's value levels. Yes, go over NYAM session short. Yep, why not? Why not? So the AM session short, again, I was asleep for this, so I did not trade it. So take it with a grain of salt, but let's break it down in hindsight. So the short session, the short trade here, market opened. Let's remove the profile altogether here. Market opened, pulled off the overnight point of control, right? Boom, meltdown below, came below the value area lows. Your setup's not there. Okay, you want to wait half an hour at least for that volume to develop to start to use the current profile. And boom, once you got half an hour in, there is your profile, half an hour after the open. So what you're waiting for here is for multiple confluences to align. So you have current session point of control, and we're trading above the value levels there, but kind of just hugging them tightly. So you could catch a few scalps up and down from that. You have the current session POC and somewhat of a D-shaped profile. You could go up, down, up, down, up, down between value low to value high or off the POC. But as soon as you see the breakaway, which is a proper trade away from the value levels, we broke down below overnight value low, below previous day value low. As soon as you see that breakdown, then you're looking for the pullback for the retest. And what we had here is extra confluence for that retest. There's when you get your retest, breakdown, pullback, broke away to the downside. As soon as it pulled back, you have 3 confluences here making this an A rank setup. You have previous day value low, overnight value low, which were broken to the downside. And just like with classic support and resistance, when support is broken, it turns resistance, is the idea. So broken to the downside, 2 stacked value levels, plus current session developing POC. POC is not great to trade on its own, but when stacked with other existing confluences from previous sessions, can be a very powerful entry point. So current session POC two stacked value levels and a breakaway, break and retest, simply going short of that, entering at the POC of the current session and the stacked value levels. Stop loss I like to use in the morning session, normally about 8 points, but that seems unnecessary for this morning. It was kind of low volatility in the morning to begin with. So let's say 5 points to start off with, and I normally am targeting 1-to-1, right? So, and then holding a runner. So I would have done this, boom, boom, in and out, quick 1-to-1, and then move the stop to break even, hold a runner, and just see how far it goes. And you can see that thing really melted today. It did pull all the way back. In actuality, I probably would have trailed my stop. So as price pulled back here, I would have been, my trailing stop would have been hit. But had you left your stop loss at break even on a runner, man, you'll be a very happy boy / girl today. Very happy. But that was a textbook A rank setup up there. I'm going to add that to the playbook in the school group too, because that's like a primo AM session setup. Primo. And then the one I took today down here, this short, not an A rank setup, but a pretty good B in confluence, in context of these weekly value levels. Pretty good B setup. Been focusing on the DOM at time and sales now. How much difference does level 2 data make with price fluctuations? Justin, yeah, if you're really focusing on the DOM and level 2 and time and sales, you definitely want to have that level 2 data. Pop, school. So what will happen is at the end of the week, I'm going to be pushing the school and the course into one. So it'll be course access and school all be in the same place. No entry here, Nordic. I wouldn't trade this right where we are. Again, you want to have some more stacked confluences. Right now, if you're trading above in this range here, you're just going to be trading it off the high volume nodes. So not something I would consider good quality trades. So for me, I'll absolutely look to take another trade, but I'll be looking to trade down here if it can pull back to this area before MOC, ideally. It's going to be able to get us a course included with school, yes. Do you think NQ or ES is cleaner? Siddharth, I'm going to say ES is cleaner. NQ has a tendency to put some wild wicks in. That being said, I haven't traded NQ for almost a year now, so I have not seen how it is recently. But typically with NQ, it's going to have some more wild swings and wild price ranges, wild wicks versus the ES, which for the most part is pretty slow, steady, and clean. How do I determine daily bias, Siddharth? I don't really have a daily bias. I mean, I look at the trend on the day and I'll look to see where fair value of the current session is compared to the previous. So like today, I mean, it's not hard to see even without the fair value, but you can see previous day point of control and overnight point of control, which is fair value for yesterday and the overnight session, is up here. And that indicates fair value, right? So fair value was across this range yesterday and last night. But today, fair value is now down here. So just seeing where fair value is shifting and which side of fair value price is holding is a way to determine bias and decide which side of the market to trade. That being said, I would trade long and short on any day. I don't really follow a particular daily bias because my trades are scalps, right? So I can go in and out. I mean, look at my trade here earlier. That was a quick, really powerful short. However, the short-term trend has been pushing up since 1 p.m. So I took technically a counter short-term trend trade there, where a buy was actually the better play across here, but I still got to take a good win there. So I'll trade both directions of the market, but I do take note of where fair value is shifting. So So the tell here now will be to see if price holds at support across here. If price holds at this support level, if we come back and we push back up, then you may look at an end of day reversal. Trump speaking at 4 p.m. apparently, by the way. I called the AM sell today, Cam. First payout coming tomorrow. You have fixed me, Lewis. Congrats. I got to rewatch your stream, Lewis. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. Please share in the school group if you haven't already, Lewis. That's awesome, man. Did you say first payout? First payout. Yeah, man. Come on. Yes. Congrats, Lewis. Shout out to Lucap Trading in the chat. He is a member of the school group and the course, and has also started streaming his sessions. So if you are trying to catch the morning sessions or London session, I believe, is that right, Lewis? Subscribe, Lucap Trading in the chat. Awesome. Awesome. Mike, what's up, Mike? I missed you before. In tune with Mike. What's up, man? Good New York afternoon to you, my friend. I learned so much about the volume profile from streams. Used it before as a small part of another strategy, but now I'm seeing it's a monster strategy by itself. Yes. Salute, Mike. It is. It really is. It is a monster on its own and a great tool to add to any other strategy. But hey, man, sometimes stripping it all back and just using the volume profile is just the secret sauce, making things simple. It's a monster. I'm glad to hear. Pop, no, it will not be combined. No worries, Lewis. Awesome. Please share in the school, Lewis. That's awesome. No worries. No worries. Yeah. All right. Oh, let's do this poll. So 54% of you say with Dom, 46 say without. You know what? At that point, I'm not even going to bother putting it back on because there's too small of a skew, so we'll leave it off for now. Right. Let's get the giveaway going, boys and girls, while we're waiting here. We're at 200, above 200 likes. Let's get the giveaway going on the stream. And going to give away a Apex account and a free course. So ba-da-da-da. Getting the giveaway going here, boys and girls, while we wait. Okay, here we go. All right. So I am posting in the chat, in the live chat, a link. What I need you to do. So giving away both free Apex today, because you guys have cleaned me out of Take Profit Trader accounts, free Apex and a free course. Go ahead, click the link pinned in the chat there. Link pinned in the chat, click that. And what you need to do is comment, like on the post, and then comment on the post, W, the letter W. And I'm going to select 2 people. All right, 2 people. And then the 2 winners, one will win a course, one will win an Apex account of any size. Link in the chat. Posting once again, like the post and go comment W, the letter W. And in 5 minutes, I'll select 2 winners. Starting the timer, 5 minutes. Go. 5 minutes is on. 5 minutes is on. I will be selecting winners in exactly 5 minutes. All right. While we're waiting, how are we sitting today, boys and girls? We're green, we're red. How is your day so far? Green, red. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Good, good, good. Yep, go in for the giveaway. You guys are pushing. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Small green, green is green. Good, good. 4.7K total profit for today just after NY Open and PM. Yes, Alicia, yes. Beautiful. How far do you wait for price to move away from current POC to take the position? M, I don't wait for it to move away from POC, but you want to use existing confluences like I pointed out earlier with the trade from the AM session meltdown. That is, for example, had two other confluences near the POC, near the developing POC, which made it a viable entry. I mean, if you're trading current POC alone, it's most of the time a bad idea. So you want to have extra confluences around it. You don't wait for it to move away from POC to get a trade, unless there's other confluences. But you're not waiting for price to come up to POC and then to move away and then take a trade as it moves away. You're waiting, using POC in line with other confluences to get a good trade, if that makes sense. But most of the time you want to avoid POC and prefer to trade the extremes. The extremes are normally where you'll get your best trade setups. Do I use monthly levels? I do not use monthly levels, Cookie Nader, just weekly and daily. Oh, Dion Shields, TPT converted me to Pro Plus. Congrats, man. Not sure how to feel. TPTs, again, I sound biased because I love TPT, but TPT, one of the reasons I do love TPT is because their live account is the best live account. It's the closest thing to a personal account you can have, and they don't have restrictive rules in the live account. It loosens up. Whereas other props, from experience with live accounts, like Top Step's live account was pretty lackluster. I've not been live with any other firm than that, but yeah, most props live accounts are just, at that point you might as well just take it all out and go put it in your own account. Take Profit Trader, it's like having a personal account. You withdraw daily. The only thing is a 90% profit split, right? That's the only downside, but it's increased from 80%. You can scale up. Yeah, it's good. And they cover the pro data fees as well. So can't complain with TPT's live account. Can't complain. And you can still trade sim funded accounts at the same time, which is cool, unlike other firms. No worries, Lewis. Hey, man, well deserved. Well deserved. Stick at it, man. I can definitely see your channel long term working, man. And you've shown the volume profile working in progress live. Takes balls to do that all live, especially while you're, still learning it to have the balls to trade it live, man. Salute to you. Well deserved. Is the IB initial balance low or high a good confluence? Yes, roundabout. It can be. It's not something I use, but yes, it's a good confluence. Initial balance is a great confluence. Do you also trade footprint charts or heat map? Francis, I have a heat map open here, but I don't use it to make too many trading decisions, but I do like to look at it. Luna locked in a payout. Yes. Congrats. Most is green today, huh? 77% green, 28% red. Good stuff. Beautiful. Axel ended the course this weekend. This week I start fresh funded account and it's going so good. Really recommend the course instead of the free accounts. Yes, man. Awesome, Axel. Glad to hear. Oh, speaking of, the timer just went off. Okay. Time to select a couple of winners for the giveaway. I'm going to select 2 people to win this course and Apex. Okay, so let me get open here. Nice, good job. Good job, good job. Okay, selecting 2. Ready? Boom. Ivy Soft Tube, winner number 1. And boom, Richard Cummings 9264, winner number 2. Ivy Soft and Richard Cummings. Ivy Soft and Richard Cummings, if you're in the chat, congrats. 2 winners today. What I need you to do is DM me on Instagram there, Ivy Soft and Richard Cummings. DM me on Instagram, and we will get your giveaway sorted. So course and Apex, or if you both want the course, you can have the course, or if you both want an Apex, you can have an Apex. I'll give you the choice there, no problem. But yes, Ivy Soft and Richard Cummings. If you don't have an Insta, please email me. My email is camicapital@gmail.com. And all I need you to do is send me a screenshot to prove it's really you. I've hearted your comment on the post. And send me a screenshot to prove it's really you. And I'll get that going for you. Ivy Soft, yes. The Instagram is linked in the chat right now. So DM me there on Instagram, or you can email me, camicapital@gmail.com. And after the stream, I will get you sorted, my friends. Richard Cummings and Ivy Soft, congrats. Congrats, congrats. In tune with my green since last Wednesday, scared a loss is due soon, isn't that right? Green streaks can be some scary things, man. You know when you're running too hot, you know it's around the corner. That happened to me last week. Last week, the last stream I did was my first loss in a good couple of weeks as well, I think. Yes, great morning so far. Justin, you must be in NZ as well, Justin. What's up, man? Awesome morning. Yep. All right, we got another 23 minutes to the end of the session here. Again, no real setups unless we pull back to this. But we're already 1 trade green, so no need to push anything more than that. But there is a potential setup down here. This is a good stacked level. You have the high volume node, edge of the high volume node here. It's a thick high volume node, but it's right across those 2 weekly value levels. So thick high volume node across there. And of course, prices on the upside. So looking for that to act as support if it can pull back. That's the only decent trade setup. In between here and POC, there's nothing decent. At this point, you're just purely pulling the slot machine, gambling your way up. You have high volume nodes you can trade off, but that's not a great strategy to do that alone. You want to combine it with surrounding confluence and context. So not financial advice, but personally speaking, I would not be trading in this range until it either pulls back towards this point. Oh, my camera's gone, isn't it? Shit. Yeah, until it pulls back towards this point, or until it pushes even above POC is going to be not much until you reach back to the highs. So it's in a bit of a no man's area here, unless you want to gamble high volume nodes. Camera's coming back. Hold on, just fixing my camera. 1 sec. 1 sec. Oh, yeah. Good. Un momento, please. Come on, man. Hold on. Sick of this camera, dude. I need that fake battery to fix it. What's my rule for break even? Joseph, I pull my trades to break even once they reach 75% of the way. There we are. Once they reach 75% of the way to my target, I pull a stop to break even. Based on my data and back testing on my own trading results, I avoid unnecessary losses that way and keep my P&L curve nice and steady that way. So I pull to break even at 75% to target. So if it's going, 10 points, As soon as the trade reaches 7.5, I'm pulling that stop loss right into break even. Of course, that does equate to some unnecessary break evens, but at least it's a break even and not a loss. I've got a high win rate, so I don't mind taking some break evens versus letting a trade potentially come all the way back. So 75%, or I'll also pull to break even if, like in today's trade where it quickly flushed to take profit, then of course I'm pulling the remaining running contract all the way to break even as well. Nothing to do with candles, just current price. Just has to trade down to 75%, Joseph. Absolutely. Uh, Volume profile settings, yes. Pause and screenshot. There you go. If looking for a buy, do you prefer taking a position at the top of the HVN and stop loss below, or do you wait for price to get to the bottom of the HVN? I prefer a position at the top of the HVN, as long as the HVN is not too thick. If it's an HVN like this, for example, if it's like this, then I prefer my entry on the top of the node, stop loss below. But if you're looking at a really, really thick node, like for example, this whole cluster here, just assume that it's not POC. If I was to short this, for example, I'm not going to, it's a terrible setup, but if I'm going to short this, look, my stop loss will have to be over 10 points just to accommodate that whole node. So in a case like that, I might wait for it to pull towards the peak of the high volume node, worst case, or allow it to trade a bit deeper before getting my entry. So it's totally discretionary based on my own risk parameters at the time. If I'm really confident in a trade, though, and the high volume node is not too wide, I'll just go in right on the first tab. Yes, correct, Nordic. Yes. Main message is only trade key levels in confluence with VP. Yes, and developing profile. Yes. Why do you have 1,000 rows? This is what was giving me the wrong values. A poor squid, it should give you nothing but the right values. As long as your settings are like this, all it's doing is just making sure you can capture every single thing of data. Just turning in from work. Will you pull your volume profile back to the start of your trade and talk through the trade? Yeah, Rock and we'll cover that right at the end here. Just watching in case we get any more setups. But yes, absolutely. But stream replays are always available to watch. Always, always. Can you please Yes. Ugh. Good day so far, man. Second trade of the week for me today. Was on a plane all day long yesterday. That flight from Japan to New Zealand is a long, long flight. Have you seen anyone use support and resistance and volume profile together? Yes. Yes, Curate, absolutely. Oh, not having the 1,000. I got you, poor squid. Yeah, man. Make sure you set it to 1,000 so you can get all the minute detail on the profile. I got you. I was able to nice curate. I was able to pass 2 50K accounts on Apex with the VP knowledge. Yes, sir. Congrats, man. Again, it's not an unheard of story. People implementing volume profile and, incoming with the first payout, first funded accounts. Yeah, Trump speaking at 4 p.m. apparently, boys and girls. So it's going to be a wild end of market. No doubt, Trump speaking is going to beware holding trades through 4 p.m. One thing we've learned over the last 2 presidential terms is if Trump is speaking, you're either going to win really big or get absolutely obliterated. Would not recommend. Do I only use HVNs on current session or entire session, including my Globex? Only current session, Sean C. Although I traded aggressively in past in one day. Hey man, nothing wrong with that, Curate. I'm in the same boat as you. I don't like wasting time in evals, man. I'm gonna get in and out of there real quick. I rate you need to post a fact link on your streams, I know, at this point. Trump and Tesla earnings are even more volatile. Oh my goodness. Yes, Brooke, the school is an add-on. So if you have the course, at the end of the course is a link to the school. It's an additional add-on, only for course members. Do you draw the VP on expansion legs or only time-based? Only time-based fronts, is only session-based. Only session-based. Man, it's a problem with getting a trade at the start of the stream. It's kind of we're just sitting around here for the rest of the stream, aren't we? We may see something towards MOC, might be decent to take, but other than that, man, we're sitting good for the day today. Mike, any plan for babies or children? GG. Good question, sir. No plans yet. No plans yet. If there is any plans, it'll be when I'm in my 30s / mid 30s. I'm not in a rush for that. I have thought about it in the past, but my thinking with that is we got plenty of time. You know, I want to maximize my 20s so that in my 30s, if I do decide to have kids, that I'll have a nice kind of setup for them. You know, I mean, things are pretty good now, but I really want to just be. If I'm going to have kids, I want to have everything set up real nice. Just a personal choice. But yeah, I'm not entirely set on it, man. I'm not that great with kids, to be honest. So I'm sure it changes when you actually become a father, but yeah, man, my wife is great. We got niece and nephews, and you know that satisfies that kind of role for us at the moment. But maybe in my 30s. What am I drinking? Kombucha. W kombucha. Apart from school, there's nowhere for VP traders to chat shit. Yeah. That is on purpose, Tom. I think those live chats can be very I found them very distracting personally. But hey, man, I wouldn't be opposed to people in the school. If you guys are in the school group to have your own little Discord group, I will not host it. But if one of you guys wants to make your own little Discord chat for the school members, I would not be opposed to that. Just personally, I find them distracting. What do I think about trading gold at night? I sent you a DM by email, didn't find your Discord. No worries, Nemo. Thank you. I'll check that after the stream. How was Japan? Saw the pic you posted. Thank you through Jesse. Yeah, man, Japan was awesome. Awesome. 5th time there this year. It's like second home at this point. Am I going to trade CPI on Friday? I will not be trading CPI. I do, however, love to trade PPI. Tim had first kid at 53. Yeah, Tim, that's more along the lines of what I'm thinking, right? Just waiting a little later. Not too late, though, but yeah, 53. You'll never have everything set up. And it's arguable, eh? I had kids at 30. How people do it after 40, 50 skills to them. Yep. I don't like kids either. My wife and I didn't have any, married now for 21 years, and we are retiring at the end of this year. I'll be 48 and she is 50. No kids allowed this to happen. Yeah, it's a trade-off, eh? I mean, I say that now, maybe that'll change in the future, maybe. But yeah. It's not a popular opinion, but I feel at this point I feel too selfish for kids. I like being the cool aunt, the cool uncle and auntie, you know what I mean? Um, it's not a popular thing to say, but it is the truth. I do not want to be one of those parents that has kids and then is kind of spiteful that I had kids, you know, or resentful. That wouldn't be fair. But I mean, people do say it changes once you actually become a parent. That thought. But yeah, man, it's not on the cards right now. Can you check out the email? Yeah, no worries, Louis. Oh, thank you, Louis. Yes, thank you, my friend. I don't like 70. Any chance of some Asia sessions? Yes, absolutely. For VP settings, you can set row layout to ticks per row and row size to 1, and that will always show the most detailed VP. Nice. Nice. Good hack. Yes. MOC, man, it's already hit. Man, it's a quiet MOC. Probably because everyone's waiting on the Tesla and Trump chat. No doubt. No doubt. Very quiet MOC. So again, I mean, it's close to the end now, and you don't want to be holding a trade into 4 p.m. That's for sure. The Tesla earnings are coming out. Trump is speaking at the same time. I think we're hot out of time for any more setups, but hey, man, that was a good trade today. Really good first stream back in the PM session. Really happy with that. I'll be posting this trade in the playbook in the school group for those of you guys who have bought the course in the school group. I'll be posting this in the playbook as well as breaking down the earlier trade here for the playbook because both fantastic setups today. And I want to just go into some detail on the nuances of this trade I took in the afternoon. So that'll be in the playbook today. This is the last week for that course at the current price, guys. I'm going to be changing it to a monthly model and rolling it all into one. So if you want to lock in the course at the current price, lifetime access, that is today and tomorrow. Friday will be our last day to get that. I'll post a link to that in the chat for those that are interested. If you want to learn volume profile trading from scratch, handheld, A to Z, how I use it, everything behind it, camicapital.com. That's the last week to get it as it is. If you want to get funded with Take Profit Trader, they're currently 40% off and no activation fee using code CAMCAP. So one of the most cost-effective ways to get funded at the moment with the number one funding firm is my favorite prop firm at the moment. It's TPT. Link is pinned in the chat. Code CAMCAP for that. And if you want to get funded with Apex, code CAMCAP for the best discount with Apex as well, as always. So go ahead and click those if you're interested, guys. Otherwise, I'm going to catch you again tomorrow. There's no point sitting here through earnings and through 4 p.m. to look for a setup. That's one and done. That was a great trade today. Really nice. Say hello, YouTube Shorts, for that one because that was fantastic. Other than that, guys, I'll see you again tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Get some more trades going, and I'll catch you.